Hi, we're a water group from Zhejiang University. In our presentation, we are to interpret the water framework of Hangzhou by looking into three sites and coming to solutions for a water urbanism. Hangzhou, located in the Taihu Lake Basin, has plain topography rather than mountainous territory. Consequently, the water manifests as networks rather than the torrents, and decides habitats where people settle down and connects people, nature, and civilization. The three sites of Transact 2 are respectively around the wetland at the west end and the very downtown center and suburbs at the east end. Since the changes of elevation throughout the whole transaction are noticeably restricted within 400 meters, what should be paid extra attention is the diverse textures and implicit questions. The challenges of each case all relate to the absence of connectivity from different perspectives. Though for Set 2A, there is a lack of appropriate connection between polluted rivers and fragile wetlands. For Set 2B, the heritage West Lake is isolated due to the city development. And finally, for Set 2C, where should ditches go if villages evolve into towns? And to handle these questions, we are going to propose our strategies, and connectivity is precisely where our conception starts. There is a noticeable patch of wetland in the middle of Site 2A, surrounded by residence clusters in the forms of villas and apartments, whose outskirts are situated factories with drainage. The southern part of the site is higher and the north is lower. Noticeably, the wetland is not the lowest point, indicating that somehow there is water flowing out of the wetland to north. And the problem is that both residents and factories unavoidably drain polluted water to the upstream, conveying nitrogen, phosphorus, and organic materials, etc. In spite of the self-purification function of wetlands, human activities' impact may overtake its capacity. For this situation, we delimit certain zones as buffers and deliberated functions to help retain polluted water from directly going into the wetland. To enhance efficiency, inside the buffer zones is also separated with levels of pollutants. And plus, we slightly flag the rivers at its entrance to wetland to ensure its reliability. Then you will see how it works from a bird view. And Site 2C is the unrefuted center and origin of Hangzhou. The major water West Lake is paid extensive attention from governments and public. So there's no problem in terms of water quality or flood management. However, the crazy real estate development and zoning has isolated the West Lake, which should be the symbol of the civic life. In ancient times, there are rivers winding from the lake and interviewing infrastructure and municipalities. Finally, we decided to calling back some of the channels and invigorate the bank areas with consideration of present buildings and traffic. In the following perspectives, you will find how the resumed channels will interact with passersby, bank riders, and automobiles. Citizens will be reconnected to West Lake whenever they wander in downtown, and the intimacy between people and nature will be nostalgically evoked. The Site 2C has a typical feature of suburbs. Factories, rural houses, and urban houses enclose one another. There are two major functions of the water. One is for transportation, like canals. The other is for irrigations, including ditches and polders. We could observe that both two kinds of water attracts people to settle down nearby, especially in unplanned areas. But let's imagine how the water will transform when there is no need of irrigation and water transportation in this area. We suppose that there should exist as infrastructures to help construct resilience by binding together as a whole system. Let's take this area for example. Since it is next to airport, when all villagers move out, there will be no houses constructed. But the polders can then connect together via ditches, forming a storage of flood to relieve the drainage stress of channels. Integrating different levels of water will contribute to a decentralized flood management framework, and the waterfront area of rivers can also play a vibrant role in the urbanization. The metropolitan park includes numerous elements and super complex conditions, and the solutions we propose may benefit finding answers in those cases. Firstly, we need to create much more, we need to create more such buffer zones as 2A sample to protect the water in the areas under development. Secondly, we need to look at the water heritage with an inclusive mindset to penetrate it into urban texture. And finally, we can link isolated water to form a decentralized landscape pattern. This is the end of our presentation, and thank you for your attention.